My narrativizing mind is very active.
It's this invisible frame of reference that you carry in your head.
Life presents all sorts of adversity, and some adversity doesn't feel like adversity. It's sneaky.
Could I interview you for my space gas?
What the hell is going on here?
I'm hitting.
We hear it twice.
Yeah, we hear it twice.
Okay, cheers.
Salud.
Okay, tell me about please what your buddy explained to you about curses from girls.
My buddy's got a terrible intestinal issue that none of the doctors can explain. He's been to all the specialists. It's been bothering him for years. Still to this day. Some days are better than others. I don't think painkillers work. The way he explains it, it's like knives in his belly, and he's contemplated suicide. He keeps on going. He came out to see me in Brazil. We did the ceremony ayahuasca. I think it helped. He came and he met my mom. He saw the relationship that we have with each other and compared it to the relationship with his mother, which is quite the opposite, that my mom talkity, and his mom don't say nothing. And he said, man, I'm so grateful for my mom now. I just
Is that him saying your mom's annoying?
He spent a lot of time with her. They had a good.
What he's saying?
He's a good guy, but yeah, for him it's impossible, and for me, I'm
just laughing for you.
What about your mom? She talk a lot.
She actually rambles. Like when I was on the phone with your mom, she goes off now. It might be the age.
And you like it?
No. Wait. No, sometimes I feel like it's not quite factual and it's quite emotional. So the stirring up the words from the emotions, and like I receive so much more of the communication through, I guess, putting the sentences together, like in words. Or let's just say, for example, she won't be entirely specific about describing any one thing. COVID-19, she'll be like, she'll try to explain things, but she doesn't go into enough perfect depth that actually explains anything. And she rambles. She's emotionally challenging the government, or emotionally challenging to me. She's telling me, or the family. How good's that tea?
Good tea. So emotionally challenging. Like she's throwing the gauntlet down with the government. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, what is your mom doing?
So let's finish this one quick, because she is. I'd say she's.
Dude, she'll ramble, and Mom, I love you. But she doesn't want to complete the full description and do like. So
she
you
doesn't want
you
to,
can
or
say
just is too excited.
Maybe too excited.
Because I feel like this sounds a lot like my mom, like you said. It's just emotions, and there's so much that she has to say, and she's trying to get it all out, especially because, perhaps because they're getting older. And they feel like their time is limited, and they have so much to say, so much wisdom to share. And they see these things. I don't know her perspective on COVID, her point of view. But, yeah, my mom definitely has excitement in her, and she just can't get it all out in time. So over the last few years, we've gotten better at reeling it in. I speak up when I can, but mostly just enjoying the time and the opportunity that she gets to tell me all these things, to enjoy the moment. And it's amazing to be able to share this time with our parents. Mm-hmm. They're only going to be here for a while. So I'm a fan of my mom, and if I had his mom, I guess I would be different as a person and might enjoy it more, but I wouldn't change my mom for the world, is the point.
Do you have grandparents?
Not anymore. Not alive. They're like in the sky, I imagine.
Yeah.
And around in the ether.
Sick imagination.
No, it's real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have a sick imagination. Because you said, I imagine. And so I was confirming your imagination.
I got you.
Motherfucker. Sky people are real. Spirits are real. Fuck you.
I said it first.
I think No, I wanted to ask why you had grandparents, because lately I've been feeling our grandparents can annoy us, and it's pretty common that people older than us we get annoyed with our I don't know, the
Grand
younger
scheme of
generation.
things.
The younger generation, the grandparents chew us out, and then we just say to them like, God, you guys are boring.
The younger generation.
Yeah, the younger generation talking about grandparents. And no, literally how I feel, there's just this disconnect. There's something that they don't understand. We're at different parts in our lives. And then now that they're getting close to death, I feel like I need to just enjoy them for who they are. And I really appreciate the time that we have together. And it's kind of the same with my mom. It's just this tolerance where I'm like, okay, you're rambling and you don't make sense, but actually you're super valuable because you are you. And I guess it's actually maybe just everybody. It's kind of rubbing off.
On a long enough timeline, it makes sense. If you gave her the days that she would like you to give her to talk and listen.
I tried podcasting her.
Yeah. Nice. Good for your format.
That's
long
not
format.
That's not
For a guy who rambles, it makes sense that your mother would be a rambler.
Shit.
A rambling man.
I look back at my podcast sometimes. Well, when I'm editing them.
You sound like your mother.
No. I just jump from place to place, and I think I'm pretty consistent, but I watch myself. I'm like, Jesus, man, this guy's not really holding any solid points.
No, you don't think everything he says has value?
No,
It's not building up to a
I
story?
feel like I'm maybe missing or like jumping away from points.
Yeah, I think we've done that already a lot in this podcast. We turned
Is
into
that
grandparents
not how
from girlfriends.
conversations are, though? Maybe with me.
So, I love my mother. I love your mother. I love all mothers. I love the Hail Mary. We had a prayer today. And thanks for joining me in that Christian prayer.
Does it have to be Christian? Was it entirely?
I
Did
guess
parts of it come from...
I don't think the Muslims really say the Our Father or the Hail Mary. And the Jews, nah, too much Jesus in there for that to be a Jewish thing. But I do take it as a non-Christian thing, actually, yes. It's very valuable. I think everybody can like Jesus, even if you're a Jew. Muslims definitely do. But I'm rambling again.
Well, we started
We had a great prayer,
talking...
including
I want to go back.
the Hail Mary was
Take
said.
me back.
So the
About
point
your
is-
buddy's fucking curse in his belly. And then,
Yeah, the feminine is important. And that's what I take the Hail Mary as. She is the divine woman of all.
Okay, so give people some clarification of what ceremony we had today, or when you prayed.
We had a meditation and we finished it with a prayer. My friends indulged me and I spoke out. And I think it's important to...
We indulged you?
Yeah. I was really wanting to share these Christian traditions. So, thanks for that. And I spoke and I said, hey, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. And now you're all going to have to listen too. Thanks for joining. And it's basically the most high of all women. This is the way I interpret it. Hail Mary, full of grace, blessed are thee amongst women. And then, by extension, the rest of the ladies too. And that's the way I see it. I don't know if that makes me a chauvinist, but I think a prayer for ladies is great. And then at the end of the prayer, we finish with Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. And that's like the ladies taking care of our souls, and well, particularly Mary. And if we find a lady to take care of our souls, that's a real blessing. I know I'm looking for one, at least. I don't know if I could handle more than one, to be fair. It's definitely a big responsibility and a amazing blessing to even be fortunate enough to get one. So yeah, back to the beginning. On the other side of the token, if you're not on good terms with a lady, I think they can harm you on the spiritual dimension instead of helping you. And
Do you
it's
think they're doing it intentionally?
not necessarily. Sometimes yes, for sure. Sometimes maybe on the back end.
How could it not be intentional when they're not trying to harm you? And there's a subconscious harm. Like, is that not just us harming ourselves?
They're just so overwhelmed with emotion and feeling, and if you hurt somebody, then they don't really choose how they react. We can try to control our emotions, but even with meditation and conscious
Ness?
reflection
Nice.
of what's happening, it still takes a lot of work to bring ourselves back down to baseline, calm, appreciate love, forgiving, forgetting. And
So after your friend has had stomach pains and considered killing himself because it hurts so much, why does he think it's a curse from a girl?
it's one theory out of many. So
Right.
that's the point.
So
I don't
it's
know
not a
if
solid
it's-
theory, but you passed it on to me in this kitchen enough so that we decided to talk about it. And we don't know. You don't even know.
I would give it like 55% to 45% being true.
Yeah, you warned me of hurting girls because you can get cursed by girls. And then I was like, well, fuck, man, I'm open. But I want you to tell me about that. And then, yeah, all you have is this backstory of your buddy.
I think it's a
That
good.
is one of the options of why he has insanely painful stomach. And then that is the grounds of this whole motherfucker.
So if you hear me out, audience, the point is maybe
Shocking to
true,
me.
maybe true,
The audience.
maybe no. But I would prefer to use this as a trick to just keep us treating women with respect and love. Could be complete nonsense.
So if a woman wants to hook up and they don't want to date you and you want to hook up with that woman and you don't want to date, are you respecting the woman by hooking up? I rest my case.
She wants to hook up with you and not date you.
Yeah.
That's up to you, man. What do you want in your life? If you're gonna,
Well, at that time, I
true
want to
to
hook up
yourself.
with that lady. That's the truth. And then we've communicated. That's the only way I've figured this out in this situation. You know, you get me? Because you got to ask for consent, or you got to be, you got to ask for consent. And then you find out that you have consent to have sex. And then you're asking about partnerships. And they're not looking for a partnership. And I've confirmed the same thing. And then you just meet right there. Meet.
yeah, that's one way of doing things. Yeah, and I believe it'll take a piece of your soul. And when you hook up with people, when you do a podcast with somebody, that's a big connection. We're gonna leave this table completely changed. We're not even mixing fluids. We're not teleporting any dimensions. And I feel when you have a proper, intimate evening with a lady, you fly to some other world. I know a lot of people say that guys don't know how to pleasure women. That may be true. But,
Women say that.
I mean,
I'll say it to join the women, but I've never been a woman, so how could I ever actually have a theory on it? I just hear from them.
I've had good times with ladies. I don't know if they were lying to me.
I don't think they were.
It's kind of hard to fake it, but apparently they're good at it. But I also think that's a lot of baloney.
I think some are, and they're probably bad people, and it probably comes out in other ways.
But for me, in my experience, it's hard for me to just hook up. And if I ever end up in that situation where we're having an intimate evening, I have a connection. Otherwise, I'm unable to get that far.
I might be a bit younger than you and talking about maybe something that's more relevant to your past, where you're not connecting with it as much right now. But maybe you can relate to what I'm speaking of in the past. Because you do want to hook up with this person because theoretically, this is just my consciousness. We've been talking and I am attracted to this person and I like this person and it makes me get hard for this person.
Well, that's the
and now
definition
I'm
of
there and I'm talking to you about it. And they're like, no, you excite me too. But I don't want you to be my partner.
Why not?
We're on an airplane right now and we're going to San Francisco and I am about to meet another person who's maybe a partner.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was in these situations more.
If you're not going to stay with me forever, fucking don't even, okay? Don't even touch me. Okay? And if you say you're going to be with me forever, then you can touch me. And then when you find out you don't like touching me, but you said you'd be with me forever, I'm going to put a curse on you. You fucking total asshole. There are no straight lines, man.
It's hard for me to joke about this. That's a very serious subject.
Right.
They say sexual energy is the strongest force. And that's becoming more and more clear with the researches we have. And in my personal experience. So in the past, I was able to hook up and ignore more with the help of alcohol, kind of forget things. But genuinely, I was unable to get hard with a lot of girls just because there was no attraction there. And then why would I not want to stick with a girl even though she aroused me? Because I would think about all the other things, principally having a family with her. And then, that's not the right woman to have a family with. And then I would run. And oftentimes in the past, it never even got to the subject of relationships when you're traveling. It's kind of normal, yeah. And I never was really conscious of this angle that I'm looking at things now. And it's many things. It's also a time investment. Time that could be better spent making a podcast, rambling about this. And you got to invest that time in the relationship, no matter how short it is. But you got to use your time wisely. And then it's your energy. So, yeah, of course, it feels good, a temporary pleasure, even if you think it comes at no price. But I imagine, as they say in Karma Sutra, for example, in Ayurveda, there's a lot of energy being sprayed into nothing when you are just procreating, or are copulating and not procreating. Your seed is extremely powerful. So with all these thoughts, it's a complex subject, so it's not just as simple as a hex, because you may or may not have an agreement on some potential future. So it's an important thing. And the point with my friend is the doctors didn't know what was wrong with him. Nobody knew what was wrong with him. It's just a theory that we passed around that he was staying with a lot of girls in his past. Maybe they didn't all end up the best way they could have. He could have been a hex of some sort on his colon. Something like that. That's an interesting theory to add to the never-ending soup that is.
Should we get a pen and paper and start writing them down, these never-ending theories?
Probably should, no? All the variables involved in a
so we forget them.
Human connection.
And then humans are, oh man, it depends how wide.
Well, let's start from the top. I think smell is number one.
For attraction?
Yeah, for having a good feel of potential chemistry, and then the belly, the feeling of the stomach, how you feel in your belly when you think about them.
Gut feeling.
Yeah, that gut feeling. And most importantly, time. So it does take a trial period of at least a couple months to really get to know somebody. So potentially waiting until you've seen each other's good and bad sides has some merit, in my opinion. Of course, this is all just talking. The second I'm actually placed in a situation where a beauty that smells good has me feeling funny in the belly.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's when I'm down to my principles, yes. That's when I'm tested.
Tested. Chill. Don't. Just, at what point would there be action? At what point can you decide?
Anytime, it's fine, yeah.
Right? So why is it any different if it's faster? I guess the seeds are valuable. How valuable are seeds? I got this theory that, like, if you shoot lots of loads or throw your powerful seeds often, you actually get better at making seeds. Something I've felt.
With a partner or solo?
Multiple partners and myself. Like, just high sexuality, creating more high sexuality.
Maybe for some people.
Definitely. Everybody's different. Some people don't have penises. All women.
There's a charming smile you cracked on your joke.
I thought it was cute. And I just thought of fucking horrific, like, accidents that could happen that would blow your penis off in any sort of way. Or, yeah, there's a lot of variables in the world and a lot of accidents.
Yeah, your theory maybe is true. I don't feel good when I do it by myself. Certainly, I think it's not cool for many reasons.
It's less cool.
You're just busting off energy into nothing. At least when you have a partner, there's an exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, it's less cool.
I'd say it's not cool at all.
Masturbation is a sin. Christian man?
Well, why are sins? Because it's been like that for a long time, and we forget that these
How
things
did we
didn't come
forget?
about. Because cool things take their place. We start worrying about what's cool, or that stopped being cool. Probably the Bible was the coolest book for a long time. It's the only book. I mean, it's bigger than Lord of the Rings.
Dude, man, it was made after the pyramids and ancient geometry. I think it's pretty lame compared to those things. But back to masturbation, and masturbation being a sin in the Bible, apparently. Maybe it was about procreation. So if you masturbate, you don't have seed to try to procreate. Where I'm saying you can also, like, understand what it feels like to have an orgasm, to want more orgasms.
I gotta stop this right now. It's a waste of time to masturbate. You're just blowing seeds in the wind. You look like hell. Like, you ever watch yourself masturbate? And if you're proud of that, good for you, man.
How?
Not at all nice. If your grandma saw you doing it, how would she like it? Nobody wants to see that, man. You go out and get the girl. Spend that time, spend that energy wisely. The seeds are important. Why is it a sin in the Bible? There's a lot of things in the Bible that just make sense. There's a lot of things that are in the Bible that are in a lot of other old books. Yeah, fasting. It's part of the Bible. For certain dietary requirements. Don't mix meat and bread. This is all old Bible stuff. Don't lie. We'll go to don't lie. Don't steal.
Why would humans do those things?
We do it all the time. Nowadays.
What is unnatural about a human doing something that they naturally do?
All these things I just listed include from masturbation to eating bread and meat to stealing. I have experienced the repercussions, what happens afterwards in my life. So that's where I get my decisions. When I was young, I didn't have that connection, didn't have that wisdom. But now I can see if I steal, sooner, almost immediately, I feel like garbage. Immediately, yeah. If I eat poorly, mixing foods I shouldn't because I'm just gluttonous and looking for gluttony is a sin. Just want to stuff it all in there. It has an instant bad reaction. Okay? Yeah, it tastes good on your belly, but it tastes good on your tongue. It's nasty in the belly. And even masturbation. You can't tell me that you sit there in your bed and like, oh yeah, I'm so cool. You have a 1 second of release, and then you gotta clean up this mess. It stinks. There's sticky stuff everywhere. I mean, it's proof is in the pudding, literally. That's a nasty, sticky, unfortunate mess. You know?
Yeah, why does it feel so good?
It doesn't. It feels good for a second, but the net feel isn't good.
I guess it might be different for everybody. There's a down energy past the good feeling, but there's a good feeling that can last a while.
Depends what you're seeking. You're seeking that good feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're seeking using your
Some
time
sort
for
of-
something else, then
You got a solid point there.
it changes your mind.
Just not pursuing women and just releasing and then losing all push towards women to then just go back to whatever it is you think you're going to be successful with or working on long term.
Simple dopamine. You want just a quick rush, quick fix. It's never good.
Yeah, I've said that a lot too.
That's why we work out.
Why would
That's
I
why we
ever-
chase girls, get put down.
Yeah, I
That's
gotta
why
do a better
you-
job chasing girls, sort of.
Always have
It's
to
a
be
lot.
respectful. Always be respectful, not just the ladies, but even if anybody's disrespectful to you. You handle that situation with the high road, take the high road, and it always pays back. If you treat disrespect with disrespect, then everybody loses. But if you take the high road, the harder road, show patience and love and understanding in situations where you want the instant fix to, you're an idiot or whatever, scream at somebody. It's never, when has screaming at anybody ever resolved anything? So, yeah, it's quite obvious that what you're saying is silly. That masturbation can be good.
Isn't it? That's why we have done it.
Another-
It's so weird. It's so backwards and weird. Like, it has to be natural because it's a part of us and we can do it. And then one part we were on about is like, I was trying to ask, how did we ever forget? Like, if these things are ancient, what's making us forget? Why don't we just know it and just not fuck up ever? Like, why is it in the humans to do the things that are bad?
When's the last time we had so much free time on our hands? This is a new phenomenon that you have your own room and not even to mention pornography and everything.
Holy. Yeah, I
So-
bet the people who maybe wrote the Bible had enough free time and then they got over their things and then they wrote it. You know?
Potentially, yeah. I'm thinking just about the last generation and maybe one or two back. But yeah, maybe.
You know, they had to have. If they were so wise and this is the right way to go, then they would have had to have learned already and then wrote it. And then we like forgot, and then we got back to a place where we're comfortable enough to think.
And now we're getting there again, and we're going to rewrite the Bible.
Holy shit.
That's what's happening.
Who gets to... Well, we just write it. Like, as we live and many writings show up, the longest ones survive, that are the most correct, the most popular.
They repeat themselves. It's the same story. Just like patterns in nature, Fibonacci. Things are growing.
Do you think Egyptians had a Bible? That just... the Bible's just a different language saying the same thing.
I think they had their code of conduct that said, hey, be a good person. Take your energy that you're getting from the sun, from Mother Earth, and use it to make the world a better place, and you'll feel better. Share. They got those old hieroglyphs with like people carrying baskets of fish. And they're giving fish to everybody. Bringing water. There's some happy people in those hieroglyphs. I ain't seen a spooky hieroglyph. They all seem to be getting on.
No whipping? Wasn't there some heads being chopped off?
Maybe we've seen some different...
I've actually never... Have you seen them in person?
You might be thinking about the Maya. The Maya glyphs.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I gotta say.
How you doing for time? It's pretty late.
I'm going on my feelings and emotions. That's why all these books and stuff are cool. And the things, there's
I'm in
patterns.
for this podcast right now.
But my belly tells me these things. My belly tells me, stop whacking off. Get a nice lady. And make a nice baby boy.
Mm-hmm. To complete your goal, to get to your goal that you value,
right,
that your gut
you
says,
perfect,
right? Because then at certain points, that's not important to people. Like when you're younger, for some reason, it's not there. It's just they have to learn it.
Yeah, and when you're younger, it sounds like old people are rambling. But they're telling you the important stuff that they learned through the course of their life.
Yeah.
That you need to know. And you say, stop it, Grandma, you're annoying. Mom, why are you embarrassing me? Listen, we need to respect our elders.
What about... it's hard.
Same like the Bible. It's an old book that already has been through the ringer and tells us what's up. Tells you the end of the story.
There's got to be some kids out there that are way ahead of grandparents.
No.
Yeah.
And what?
Well, the fucking grandparents fall off an edge at some point. Or they have... Oh, man. I think everyone is open in their lives, in a moment in their life, to suffer from anxiety or bad habits because of not dealing with something, therefore making them less wise, less informative, actually spitting evil.
Anxiety or bad habits?
Let's just say at 50 years old, they just start drinking a lot because they want to hide from something that they haven't dealt with or that just showed up, and then they start doing that. And then the 55-year-old who's been drinking for 5 years now spits knowledge at the youngster who is just love and bubbles of joy and kindness, food, love, bubbles of joy. The 55-year-old is spitting venom at this kid because they're extremely hurt. And that's where we wouldn't be. They wouldn't be wiser than the young person at that time. And they may never be for the rest of their lives because they're just growing a sack of venom to throw at people because they're scared of dealing with their thing.
Well, that could happen. That's evil.
Sorry if I'm just contradicting everything you say, you know? It's just like devil's advocate to learn.
Yeah, that's just evil. I'm telling you. It's not their true form. Not the form in the light. That's a form concealed in darkness. That's kind of like a shadow, kind of like a making... It's another person on top of that person. is a demonic possession, basically. That person in their right, healthy state wouldn't be doing that, exactly that. If they weren't in 5 years pickled in booze, they would feel better about themselves. They would have their orders in place, but they've probably been whacking off all night. They can't get a lady. They have no family. They have nothing to... Maybe they have some kind of money, but does that really matter in this situation? Yeah, I've noticed that in my life as well. That's why you have to forgive and always take the high road. That's why the young kid needs to learn from a healthy adult and a healthy older person about patience, respecting elders, respecting everybody, learning, and then you can overcome that situation. And hopefully we can find help for that hurt person. I'm sure we can, matter of fact. But you gotta deal with it the right way. And that's with a lot of things. Card full. I think we're done.
Perfect.
I was gonna say something else. Yeah, that's it. I think that's 3 reads.
Talk to you soon.
I answered you. Yeah, it's